Hello, Ravi.
Hello, Anita.
How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
That's great to hear. In our previous episode, we learned about the permit to work system. Did you practice the English conversations?
Yes, I did. I practiced every day. Now I feel much more confident when talking about permits at work.
Excellent, Ravi. Daily practice is the key to becoming fluent. Today, we are starting another important topic.
What are we learning today?
Today, we are learning fire safety communication.
That's one of the most important topics for every safety officer.
Absolutely. Every workplace has fire hazards. Every safety professional should know how to communicate during fire prevention and emergency situations.
I agree. Fire safety questions are also common during safety officer interviews.
Exactly. During this episode, you will learn practical English that you can use during inspections, toolbox talks, emergency situations, and interviews.
That sounds very useful. I'm ready to begin.
Excellent. Let's get started.
Ravi, let's begin with a simple question. What is fire?
Fire is a chemical reaction. It produces heat, light, and smoke. Fire can spread very quickly if it is not controlled.
Excellent. That's a good interview answer. Now, tell me about the fire triangle.
The fire triangle has 3 elements: heat, fuel, and oxygen.
Very good. What happens if we remove one of these 3 elements?
The fire will go out. Fire cannot continue without all 3 elements.
Exactly. Now, imagine that I am the site manager. Ravi, can you explain the fire triangle to a new worker?
Yes. Fire needs 3 things to burn: heat, fuel, and oxygen. If we remove any one of these elements, the fire will stop.
Excellent explanation. Now, let's practice another situation. A worker asks you, why do I need to know about the fire triangle?
Because it helps us understand how fires start. It also helps us prevent fires. And it helps us choose the correct fire extinguisher during an emergency.
Perfect. Remember, a professional safety officer should not only understand fire safety, he should also be able to explain it clearly to workers.
That's true. Good communication is an important part of fire prevention.
Absolutely. Prevention always starts with awareness and proper communication.
Ravi, let's talk about fire extinguishers. Every safety professional should know how to select the correct fire extinguisher.
Yes, Anita. Using the wrong extinguisher can make the fire worse.
Exactly. Let me ask you a few questions. Which fire extinguisher should we use for an electrical fire?
We should use a carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. It is commonly known as a CO2 fire extinguisher. It is safe for electrical equipment because it does not conduct electricity.
Excellent answer. Should we use water on an electrical fire?
No, water should never be used on an electrical fire. It can cause electric shock and increase the danger.
Very good. Now another question. Which extinguisher is suitable for paper, wood, and cloth fires?
A water fire extinguisher is commonly used for Class A fires.
Correct. What about fires involving diesel, petrol, or other flammable liquids?
We should use a foam fire extinguisher or a dry chemical powder fire extinguisher, depending on the type of fire.
Excellent. Now imagine that a worker asks you, how do I know which extinguisher to use?
First, identify the type of fire. Then, read the label on the fire extinguisher. Always use the extinguisher that is suitable for that class of fire. If you are unsure, raise the alarm and ask for assistance.
Perfect. Remember, choosing the correct fire extinguisher is just as important as knowing how to use it.
That's right. A good safety officer always thinks before taking action.
Absolutely. Knowledge and quick decision-making can prevent a small fire from becoming a major emergency.
Ravi, Now let's learn how to use a fire extinguisher correctly. Have you heard about the PASS technique?
Yes, Anita. Every safety professional should know it.
Great. Can you tell me what PASS stands for?
PASS stands for pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep.
Excellent. Let's imagine there is a small fire on the site. Explain the PASS technique to a worker.
First, pull the safety pin. This unlocks the fire extinguisher. Next, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire. Never aim at the flames.
Very good.
Then squeeze the handle slowly. This releases the extinguishing agent. Finally, sweep the nozzle from side to side. Continue until the fire is completely out.
Excellent explanation. Now, let me ask you another question. What should you do if the fire continues to grow?
I should never try to fight a large fire alone. I should raise the alarm immediately. I should evacuate everyone from the area. And I should call the emergency response team.
Perfect answer. Safety always comes before property.
I completely agree. No job is worth risking a life.
Exactly. A professional safety officer knows when to fight a fire and when to evacuate the area.
That's a very important lesson.
It certainly is. Always remember, a fire extinguisher is only effective when it is used correctly and only when the fire is still small and safe to control. Ravi, let's talk about emergency evacuation. Imagine that the fire alarm starts ringing on your site. As a safety officer, what is the first thing you should do?
First, I will remain calm. Then I will activate the emergency response procedure. I will make sure everyone stops work safely, and I will guide all workers to the nearest emergency exit.
Excellent. Now, imagine that you are speaking to the workers. What would you say?
Attention, everyone. Please stop work immediately. Stay calm. Leave all tools and equipment behind. Walk to the nearest emergency exit. Do not run. Do not push anyone. Follow the evacuation route. Proceed directly to the assembly point.
Very good. Now, imagine that one worker wants to go back to collect his mobile phone. What would you tell him?
Please do not go back. Your life is more important than your personal belongings. Continue to the assembly point immediately.
Excellent answer. Once everyone reaches the assembly point, what should you do next?
I will conduct a head count. I will make sure that every worker has evacuated safely. If someone is missing, I will immediately inform the emergency response team.
Perfect. Now, another question. A worker says, the fire was very small. We didn't need to evacuate. How would you respond?
Every fire alarm must be treated seriously. We should always follow the emergency evacuation procedure. We must never ignore a fire alarm.
Excellent. Remember, Ravi, a successful evacuation depends on discipline, communication, and teamwork.
I agree. Good communication can save lives during an emergency.
Absolutely. That is one of the most important responsibilities of every safety professional.
Ravi, now let's talk about fire drills. Have you ever participated in a fire drill?
Yes, Anita. We conduct fire drills regularly on our project. They help everyone understand what to do during a real emergency.
Excellent. Why do companies conduct fire drills?
Fire drills prepare employees for emergencies. They help us practice evacuation procedures. They also test the emergency response team's readiness.
Very good. Now, imagine that you are about to conduct a fire drill. How would you make the announcement?
Attention, everyone. We are about to conduct a fire drill. Please remain calm. Follow all instructions carefully. Do not panic. Walk to the designated assembly point. Follow your supervisor throughout the drill.
Excellent. After the fire drill is completed, what should a safety officer do?
I will verify the attendance. I will record the evacuation time. I will review the performance of the workers. I will identify any problems or delays. Then I will recommend improvements for the next drill.
Excellent answer.
Now, imagine that one worker was joking and not taking the drill seriously. What would you say?
A fire drill should always be treated like a real emergency. Please take it seriously. Your actions can affect the safety of everyone around you.
Very good. One last question. Why is it important to conduct fire drills regularly?
Regular practice improves confidence. It reduces panic during real emergencies. It helps everyone respond quickly and safely.
Excellent, Ravi. Remember, the more we practice, the better we perform during a real emergency.
Absolutely. Preparation today can save lives tomorrow.
Ravi, let's practice some interview questions. These are common questions asked during safety officer interviews.
That's great. I want to improve my interview English.
Excellent. Here is your first question. What is fire?
Fire is a chemical reaction that produces heat, light, and smoke. It occurs when heat, fuel, and oxygen combine together.
Very good. Now the second question. What is the fire triangle?
The fire triangle consists of three elements: heat, fuel, and oxygen. If we remove any one of these elements, the fire will be extinguished.
Excellent answer. Now another important interview question. What are the responsibilities of a safety officer during a fire emergency?
A safety officer should raise the alarm immediately, ensure the safe evacuation of all personnel, guide everyone to the assembly point, inform the emergency response team, prevent unauthorized people from entering the danger area.
Perfect. Now let's try a practical question. During your inspection, you notice smoke coming from an electrical panel. What will you do?
First, I will stay calm. I will raise the alarm. I will keep people away from the area. If it is safe, I will use a CO2 fire extinguisher. Then I will inform the emergency response team and the site management.
Excellent answer. One final question. Why is it important to remain calm during a fire emergency?
Staying calm helps us think clearly. It reduces panic. It allows us to follow emergency procedures correctly and protect everyone on site.
Outstanding, Ravi. Those are exactly the kind of answers interviewers like to hear.
Thank you, Anita. I'll continue practicing these answers every day.
Ravi, let's practice a real workplace conversation. Imagine that we are conducting a routine site inspection. We arrive at a hot work location where welding is in progress. During the inspection, we notice several flammable materials stored very close to the welding area. As the safety officer, what would you do first?
First, I would stop the hot work activity temporarily. Then I would ask the workers to move all flammable materials to a safe location. I would also inspect the work area again before allowing the job to continue.
Excellent. Now speak directly to the welder.
Excuse me, please stop the welding operation for a moment. There are flammable materials too close to your work area. This creates a serious fire hazard. Please remove the materials before restarting the job.
Very good. Now, the welder says, the sparks won't reach those materials. How would you respond?
We should never make assumptions about fire hazards. Welding sparks can travel several meters. Even a small spark can start a fire. We must eliminate every possible ignition risk.
Excellent answer. During your inspection, you also notice that the fire extinguisher inspection tag has expired. What would you do?
This fire extinguisher is not ready for emergency use. It must be replaced or inspected immediately. Hot work cannot continue without a serviceable fire extinguisher. Very good. Finally, you realize that the fire watch has left the work area. What would you do? I would stop the hot work immediately. A trained fire watch must remain at the work location throughout the operation. The work can only restart after all fire safety requirements have been met. Excellent, Ravi. That's exactly how a professional safety officer should communicate during a fire safety inspection.
Ravi, let's practice another real workplace scenario. Imagine that you are conducting your afternoon site inspection.
During the inspection, you notice that several construction materials have been placed in front of an emergency exit. What would you do as the safety officer?
First, I would stop any activity that could block the emergency exit. Then I would ask the workers to remove all the materials immediately. Emergency exits must remain clear at all times.
Excellent. Now, speak to the workers.
Excuse me, everyone. Please remove these materials immediately. This emergency exit must always remain clear. During an emergency, people must be able to leave the building without any delay.
Very good. One of the workers says, "We're only storing these materials here for a few minutes." How would you respond?
Even a few minutes can be dangerous. An emergency can happen at any time. Emergency exits must never be blocked. Please move these materials to the designated storage area.
Excellent answer. Now, you notice that a fire extinguisher is also blocked by stored materials. What would you do?
Please clear the area around the fire extinguisher immediately. Emergency equipment must always be easily accessible. We should never place materials in front of fire protection equipment.
Very good. Finally, you discover that one of the emergency exit lights is not working. What action will you take?
I will report the problem immediately. The emergency exit light must be repaired as soon as possible. Workers should always be able to identify the evacuation route during an emergency.
Excellent, Ravi. A professional safety officer does more than respond to emergencies. He identifies problems before they become emergencies.
I completely agree. Prevention is always the best safety strategy.
Absolutely. Good inspections and clear communication help create a safer workplace for everyone.
Ravi, we've reached the end of today's lesson. Before we finish, let's do a quick revision. Are you ready?
Yes, Anita. I'm ready.
Excellent. Here's your first question. What are the 3 elements of the fire triangle?
The 3 elements are heat, fuel, and oxygen. All 3 are required for a fire to continue burning.
Perfect. Second question. Which fire extinguisher should you use for an electrical fire?
A carbon dioxide, or CO2, fire extinguisher. Water should never be used on an electrical fire because it can cause electric shock.
Excellent answer. Third question. What does PASS stand for?
Pull, aim, squeeze, sweep.
Very good. Fourth question. What should you do when you hear the fire alarm?
Stay calm, stop work safely, follow the evacuation route, go directly to the assembly point. Never ignore the alarm.
Excellent. Final question. What is the most important responsibility of a safety officer during a fire emergency?
To protect people's lives, to ensure safe evacuation, to communicate clearly, and to follow the emergency response procedure.
Outstanding, Ravi. Your confidence has improved a lot.
Thank you, Anita. I feel much more comfortable speaking English about fire safety now.
That's wonderful to hear. Now it's time for today's challenge. Choose 10 English sentences from this episode. Read them aloud 3 times. Record your voice on your phone. Listen carefully to your pronunciation. Repeat the exercise every day for 1 week. You will notice a big improvement in your confidence and fluency.
I'll definitely do that. Daily practice really makes a difference.
Absolutely. Remember, great communication is one of the strongest skills a safety professional can develop. It helps you during interviews, it helps you lead toolbox talks, and most importantly, it helps you protect lives at work.
I completely agree. Better English leads to better communication. Better communication creates a safer workplace.
Well said, Ravi. If you'd like to improve your safety English, interview skills, and practical HSE knowledge, keep practicing with every episode of this series. Visit www.thehsecoach.com for more learning resources. And don't forget to follow the HSE Coach on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Thank you for joining us today. Keep learning, keep improving, and stay safe.
I'm Anita.
And I'm Ravi.
We'll see you in episode 8. Goodbye.
Goodbye.